Okay, so yesterday I posted the video with my players to watch on the women's side, and I will link that here. But today we're talking all about the men. And remember, these are just one human's opinions.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
I actually have to be honest with you guys, I have not watched that much men's volleyball in my life, which was painfully obvious when I was in Poland last year in Bełchatów, and I was like, skra, who's that? What's that? Who dat? And then I was on the podcast for the CV talking about Zaksa, Kijin, the Champions League winners from last season. Yeah, I have literally no idea how to pronounce that, and I'm guessing you probably don't either, but we're in the same boat, guys. Anyway, since going to comment on the VNL last month, I had to brush up real quick on all the men's volleyball, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan. There, I said it. I am a fan of men's volleyball. It's just a whole different game. It's a whole different speed. It's so intense. And yeah, I can tell you from literally being courtside with the very best players in the world, you guys, we are all in for a serious treat this Olympic Games. So if you're like my mom and you only watch sports literally every 4 years, hi mom, love you. Or maybe you only follow the US teams, I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek into the players that you might want to keep an eye on here in Tokyo this summer. Starting off with someone who basically blew up the internet a month ago with his cross-court shot. Egor Kliuka, guys, I am not exaggerating. This shot was from zone 4 all the way to the opposite zone 4, but like within 2 millimeters of the net. It was just nasty. And he was so kind as to grant me an interview in English. Well, not really an interview, but just like to be on my vlog. But I waited around for like 30 minutes after their last match, and some of the commentators and the producers and some of the people were waiting around for me. It was like 11 p.m. But I was like, no, I'm getting Kliuka on the vlog. I felt a little bit like a groupie, but you know what? He followed me on Instagram first, so I think he just wanted to be on the vlog, right? Anyway, expect big things from Kliuka, the Russian outside hitter. Next up is Ran Takahashi from Japan, not to be confused with Kentaro Takahashi or Kenta Takanashi. I know it's confusing, but I'm talking about number 21, Ran. He is not even a professional volleyball player yet. He is only 19 years old, but you guys, he's an absolute freak. Basically the embodiment of haiku, if you guys know what that anime, that Japanese volleyball anime is. Okay, I've never actually watched it, but I've seen social media clips of it, and it looks pretty rad. And Ran, I'm sure, grew up watching the anime cartoon, and he's basically just living out the dream now. He is so fast, and he has such a quick arm. He jumps so high, literally jumps through the roof, and he's just such a freak athlete. And you guys, you're just gonna have to watch him. Words just don't suffice. The next player on the total opposite end of the spectrum from Ran is an extremely experienced player. He is the setter for Iran, Saeid Marouf. He's 35 years old. He's played pro around the world like Russia, Italy, China. He has a Champions League gold medal. He has a ton of best setter awards. He's an incredible player, but also just such a calming presence on the court. He seems like everything is under control. Even when his team is losing, he's his presence. In fact, I tried to get him on the vlog at VNL as well, but he gently declined because their team had been on a losing streak, and he just didn't feel like making a fun and happy message when he felt like he was letting down his fans, which is kind of sweet if you ask me. And he's got a lot of fans. He's got like 2 million followers on Instagram. Maybe it's because he's the best setter in the world, or maybe because of his glorious beard. We will have to ask the McKibben brothers about that one. Coming in at number 2 is Poland's best import, Wilfredo Leon. This will come as no surprise to anyone. He literally has a golden touch. He could turn anything into gold. Is that Midas that did that? I don't know. It's a weird analogy, but he is a beast on the court. He has smashed the record for the most ace serves at the VNL in a single match. This was 13 serves, 13 aces, you guys. And it was against Serbia too. I mean, they're no slouch as far as teams go. So he is incredible. His pipe attack is phenomenal. He was the best hitter of the Italian league last season, as well as many, many awards prior to that. And we did a CV podcast together, so I'm obviously biased. But Poland has a good chance of taking gold if they can hold off Brazil. And Leon is just one of the many Polish puzzle pieces, so keep an eye on him from literally anywhere on the court. Okay, so my top pick of players to watch in Tokyo this summer is, drumroll please, Alessandro Michieletto. Now, if you didn't watch the VNL, you might not be familiar with the name, but he is basically the unicorn of Italian volleyball. I'm really hoping that catches on, that name, because Dan from 5-1 Volleyball came up with it and I tried to use it all the time at the VNL, and Alessandro himself actually gave it the stamp of approval, so fingers crossed that it sticks. But you know how a unicorn in basketball is basically has the height and the athleticism of a center, but the speed and the agility of a point guard and the precision of a three-point shooter? Yeah, so Michieletto is basically that, but for volleyball. He was already an all-around player when he was young, and then just a couple of years ago he shot up and he's like 2 meters tall now. So he has all the skills of an all-rounded, well-developed player, but also he can just hit over the block basically. So pretty impressive. And actually, if you go to his Instagram, you can see pictures of him from just a few years ago before his growth spurt, and he's got pictures of himself with his idols, and then flash forward a few years and he's got pictures with the same guys who are now his teammates. It's crazy. So he played in Trentino and he got a silver medal in Champions League last season. I'm not really sure how much playing time he's going to get at Tokyo because Italy has a pretty stacked team and he's only 19 years old. But I really hope you guys get to see the unicorn in action. Okay, for some reason the men's top 5 were harder to choose than the women's. There are a ton more players that I wish I could have put in this list, but I wanted to keep it to 5 just not to overwhelm you guys, and just maybe we'll do a part 2. I don't know. Leave me a note in the comments if you want to see a part 2. Actually, you guys should let me know who your top 5 picks are, so then we can get into the nitty-gritty, the nitty and the gritty. I think you'll realize it's harder than you think to narrow it down to just 5 players when there are 12 players per team and 12 teams, so there's like 144 players per gender, I think. Okay, a lot. Okay, so if you guys want to boop the like, the subscribe, and the bell because it actually makes a difference, and then go check out the women's list if you haven't already seen it. And all the vlogs from the VNL are on my channel. Ooh, squeaky chair. So they're there for your viewing pleasure. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.